Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United lose another Premier League game. It's 4-3 to Brentford. And I've got to say from the outset, I just hate these games. I really do. I think, look, we've been doing this for a long time. It seems a very long Premier League season with absolutely no point to it. But you know what I hate about it is just that the issues it causes in the fan base. The comments will be riddled with people who've just gone over the top. There'll be people talking about Amorim. There'll be people talking about the system. I'm sure in the mainstream they'll be saying it's unacceptable to lose these games. And of course it is. But when are we going to just hit the context head? Like, the context is, this is all on Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's all on Joel Glazer. It's all on players that aren't good enough. You bring a manager in November with a completely different style of play, with players that can't play it, and then no transfer window. It's going to cause a problem. The fact that we're in the Europa League final, basically, if we win on Thursday or don't get beat by 4 goals, is incredible. And that's all that matters. That's all we've got. And you have Lyon at Old Trafford, you know, one of the greatest nights we've had in recent years. We go to Bilbao and we win 3-0. And you're like, that's amazing. And all that matters is the Europa League. And then the minute you lose to Brentford 4-3, suddenly that matters to some people. And they hammer him out stuff starts. And these players are shit starts. And I hate it. And I'm sure there's a lot of you do as well. Because it's just really not that deep. Just take a chill pill. It really doesn't matter. But people will be screaming, oh, standards. Of course it matters. We're Manchester United. What were you expecting today? We are not prioritising the Premier League. We have literally put out half a youth team and half a reserves team, and we've lost 4-3 to Brentford. 4-3. Not 6-0, not 7-0, 4-3. 4-3. And the only reason they scored so many goals is because they bombarded us with high balls because we're small and weak. I really don't care about it. I want the Premier League season over, but I just don't care about it. It's about the Europa League. And all these people who start moaning about Amorim or certain players, I really question, like, what it's like to be that impatient. But also, do you really love the football club or not? Because we have got a chance of winning the Europa League. And if we keep shouting and screaming and being negative about every bad result, you're sort of putting pressure on a team that doesn't need that sort of pressure at the moment. We need to focus on the Europa League. I hate this. I'm not looking forward to West Ham next Sunday. I'm not looking forward to Chelsea after that. And I'm not looking forward to Villa. I just don't like these Premier League games. The Premier League for me was over at Christmas. And it was all about winning the Europa League. And I said we'd win the Europa League. And I still believe we'll win the Europa League. And that, to me, will rescue this season. But the Premier League has been vomit-inducing. And I just want it over. But I can't understand the people that want to make a big deal out of this. Like, look at that team today. Fredriksen's 18, Dorgu's 20, Amas is 18, Mainu is 20, Garnacho is 20, Obi is 17, Biinda is a reserve goalkeeper, Luke Shaw can only play 45 minutes, Mason Mount can only play 55 minutes, and Agate was man of the match. I mean, and we're playing against the Brentford team at their place, at their full strength. And we've lost 4-3. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll take that. I don't know whether I'm the only one. I would take a 4-3 or a 1-0 loss to Brentford with that team every day of the week. The thing that's annoyed me, there's 2 things that's really annoyed me before we get into a few other bits. The thing that's annoyed me, and it's not the influx of Amorim out or anything like that. I mean, that's just laughable. It's like Arsenal fans who are going Arteta out because they lost to Bournemouth. I mean, it's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. But what has annoyed me is the injury to De Ligt. I'd rather lose 6-0 to Brentford today and get no injuries. Losing De Ligt is a killer. An absolute killer. And when Maguire and Yoro came on, I was like, oh, God, no. Absolutely. We just can't afford any more injuries at all. That De Ligt thing is devastating. I don't care about the Premier League. And can I just explain this, by the way? For people who say standards, I want Man United to win. But there's bigger fish to fry. And if the manager, and I respect the manager for this, if a manager's going to pick a team like that, I, as a fan, know we're not prioritising this game. And I'm okay with that because I've said it myself. I said it weeks ago. If we can go deep in the Europa League, when we hit April, May, just pick the kids, pick the reserves. I've seen it before. Jose Mourinho did it this season. And this is what I mean about understanding your football club, doing a little bit of research, understanding intensity, injury risk, priority. Go back to Jose Mourinho winning the Europa League against Ajax. Have a look at the teams he was picking in the Premier League in the final few weeks. I remember going to Arsenal with Twansebi playing before Twansebi was anywhere near the first team. So this is common sense. And when Amorim picks a team like that, I respect it because I know what the message is. I want to win the game, but I can't pick my best team because I'm prioritising the Europa League. So he sent that message out with that team. And I understand that. I understand that. I can deal with that. And if we lose, there's a context to it. But what frustrates me is the bloody injury to De Ligt. It just frustrates me so much because I don't think it's preventable. He's just coming back from an injury. Ahmad's had 45 minutes. You've got to give him minutes. But losing him in that key position is just really frustrating. The second thing that frustrated me, and it might be quite niche, is the fact that we're paying £450,000, nearly £500,000 a week, for Mason Mount and Luke Shaw, and neither of them can play more than 55 minutes. Mason Mount's been fit for 2 months. Has to come off after 55 minutes. Luke Shaw has been back for a few weeks now. Can only play half a game. What is the point? There ain't no way Liverpool, Arsenal, or any other decent football club is keeping people who can only play half a fucking game. Like, what an absolute joke. We're playing Brentford with kids and reserves, and those two players, who aren't good enough to start when they're fit anyway, can only play half a game. I mean, what's the point? What is the actual point in that? But look, that's probably a minor thing. Positives, look, Amas is only just 18. He's played 90 minutes in the Premier League away from home. Obi is the youngest player to start for Manchester United. He's just had 90 minutes away from home. Fredrickson's had another game at 18 years of age. They are positives. Ahmad, 45 minutes, got a goal. Mainu's just played 90 minutes. He needs it. But ultimately, waste of time. It's a waste of time, that game. And I think it was a waste of time for Obi as well. I mean, look, that's another thing as well, I would say. You've got a 17-year-old kid playing up front. Who in that team actually understood that? Like, who in that team was actually like, he's 17, he's the youngest guy to play for Man United ever starting a game. Maybe we should be looking at the runs he's making. Maybe we should be getting involved. Maybe we should be trying to find him the pass. I mean, it was a disgusting treatment of a player, I thought. And look, this is something that's been going on for years. You are in a graveyard shift as a striker. I felt so sorry for him because that's your first full game at professional level. That's his first full game at professional level. And he never really got a sniff because no one's looking for him. We need an experienced striker who is literally going to go up to players and go, "You effing selfish twat." You know, it's incredible. Hambo says your lack of standards and excuses are tragic. There are no excuses and there are no lack of standards. You're just thick and don't listen to what I've just said. It's not about standards. It's about priorities. Standards only exist when you're trying to win everything. We're not trying to win that game today. We're trying to win that game with a weakened team. We're not putting out our strongest team. The message was sent by the manager. I'm quite comfortable with that. So my standards change based upon that. When I see that team, I don't go, well, we should be beating Brentford. When I see that team, I go, it would be nice to beat Brentford, but basically we're prioritising the Europa League because of injury and lack of quality. So it's not about standards. If that's our strongest team, we're having a different conversation. But the message is very clear. And I understand the message because guess what? I live in a real world. I understand it. Most people in this chat understand what we're doing. We're trying to rescue the season by winning the Europa League. And the Europa League final is 2 weeks on Wednesday, mate. 2.5 weeks away. It's not even about resting people for Thursday. It's about looking at 2.5 weeks' time. One little muscle strain and you're out. That's why Casemiro didn't play 1 minute. Bruno didn't play 1 minute. Rasmus didn't play 1 minute. We are now in the period where we are trying to just put a best team out for the final. Obviously, we've got to get through Bilbao first. I get that. It's not about standards. Because I tell you what, and I'll tell you this for free, if he'd picked his strongest team and we got 2 or 3 injuries, people would have said, why didn't he just pick the kids? I understand the world we live in, mate. I understand that certain people and certain situations, you're going to get damned if you do and damned if you don't. He picks his strongest team. We get beat. We get a couple of injuries. Amrim out. Amrim out. What an idiot. Just play the kids. It doesn't even matter. Amrim out. Amrim out. Right? He picks the kids. He rests the players. We lose 4-3. Amrim out. Amrim out. You can't win in the situation. And I'd rather he did this than pick the strong team. So I'm on board with it. I look for the positives, says David. Agate was great. Garnacho passed the ball in the box well. The young kids fight till the end. Shaw was terrible again. Mark, when we win the Europa League, just watch how many jump on the bandwagon. I'm on holiday for the Bilbao game. Can't wait. Love the content, Mark. They won't be jumping on the bandwagon, Rossi. The same people who are going Amrim out now and talking about the system, I've seen them on YouTube. I've seen them on Twitter. I've seen them in this chat. I've seen them online. I've seen them on the journalists. I've seen them on telly. They were all going, oh, can't believe it. Unbelievable. Oh, madness. This club. I love this club. 3 days later, the kids are losing to Brentford. Oh, Amrim out. System. Nothing wrong with the system on Thursday night, though, was there? Absolutely nothing wrong with the system at all. Whether you can care or don't, 28 years is how long I've supported this club. Never had we lost so many games. I don't watch anymore. Many long-term supporters are also turning. Enough is enough. No, they're not. No, they're not, mate. No, they're not. Our hardcore fan base, home and away, are singing Amrim's name. Stop acting like you're in the majority. You're in the minority. You've got an opinion. You've just expressed it. Well done. But you're in the minority. You're the vocal minority. Every poll, every football ground, every away support, the vast majority of this chat, people don't feel like you. They're not happy about where we are in the Premier League, but they understand the importance of the Europa League and how we need to prioritise it. Constantine, nobody sat there going, it's fine where we are in the Premier League. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying it's fine to lose to Brentford. What we're doing is we're saying where we are now, with 3 weeks left in the season, and a team that's heavily fatigued and a lot of injuries, what we're doing is, the Premier League is horrible. This season is unforgivable. It's unacceptable. Our worst ever Premier League points total was 59. We are nearly 20 points off that. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's horrific. But, context, we can't risk our good players in a Premier League season that's fucked. So we need to rest them and prioritise. That's the situation. The post-mortem will come at the end of the season. The Premier League season is horrific. Who's responsible for it? You know, those things will happen. But right here, right now, we've got bigger fish to fry. We've got bigger battles to focus on. We now have as bad a form in the Premier League over the last 6 games as Southampton. Don't care, Marlow. For the reasons I've just said. I don't think you're listening. I watched the game without checking online. I should have just stuck to that. Some people are just toxic, says Mill. I see it as pre-season for Amrim, which is great, says Hamza. Unlucky result. No need to be reactionary. Take what positives we can. Pre-season games have no meaning. Disgraceful from Taylor today. Bad ref, says Yoni. Don't let the trolls get to Thursday is what matters, says Ashton. Not a bad result. Brentford just won against Forest and we are away from home with reserve team. Bring on Thursday. Exactly, Ali. Saw before the match on the Telegraph we're looking at signing Mbumu. No chance, Phil. Everyone who wants Amrim in, like this super chat, Amrim in. It says it's saying, Mark, your high IQ must be people are low. That's not okay. All the no-brained people who want Amrim out, like this super chat, says it's Cian. Worst team in the league outside relegation, says Jackie Boy. Well done. Okay, let's do the player ratings because I'm actually going to go and watch Chelsea-Liverpool. So we're back at 8 o'clock anyway when I think people will have calmed down and hopefully we'll have a better chat. Look, Ruben Amorim himself said storms were coming. And here they are. Context, we're in the Europa League final if we beat Bilbao, if we don't get stuffed by Bilbao on Thursday. We're in the Europa League final, basically. Context, it wasn't our strongest team. Context, we didn't even pick our captain. Context, Brentford are a good team. Context, most people would have had us losing that game even with our strongest team. Context, the final result was 4-3. It's just not that deep. I don't mind people having a different opinion, but for your own sanity, it's really not that deep. 4-3 with our reserves, resting players for a bigger game. It's not that deep. Loads of teams do it. Mourinho did it when we won the Ajax game. Like, Ange did it last week at Anfield. It's just not that deep. You're demanding we win every single game and pick our strongest team, and then if we hadn't lost, you'd be going, why did he do it? You're literally getting yourself angry over nothing. You're listening to people who are doing it because they've got ulterior motives. They want to be proved right about Amrim. They've said Amrim out, and they've got to be proved right on it. So context will go out the window. Logic will go out the window. Their only end game is to get you to be Amrim out. The Amrim out brigade just wants you on board. So context and understanding will just disappear. It's an agenda now. It's a movement that's trying to get Amrim out. That's all it is. There will be no context in it. None at all. It's just not that deep. We win on Thursday, we draw on Thursday, and everyone will be going, yeah, we're in the Europa League final. It's amazing. It's funny. It's actually funny. It's funny how people react. It's the TikTok generation. It's the impatience. It's the swipe right. I love that. Swipe right. Swipe down. I love that. Swipe down. Oh, I don't like that. Swipe down. I love that. Swipe up. I hate that. There's just no long-termism at all. There's no context. Context is key. Right, let's do the player ratings. This I really don't look forward to when we've had a bad game, but I'm just going to do mine, and I'm not going to focus on the negatives. Binder a 5, didn't play very well. Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell. Quite close. Maybe I've been a bit unfair here. Binder a 5, yeah, I can see why Anana starts. Yeah. That says it all. Pilimo says, only a fool blames Amrim for anything. My only fear is playing an English team in the finals. Oh, I don't want to play Spurs in the final, mate, if we get there. Like Amrim said, this is pre-season, so seeing all these different players' positions and gameplay makes the next season progressive, says Henrik. Context, Mark is allowed and we love you, says Hamza. I think our season was screwed before it started with Ineos divering over keeping Ten Hag. It undermined the manager and derailed preparations. Thank you very much. Please take all the rest of the plastics with you, Constantine. We don't need glory hunters here, says Dexter. Brentford is a strong team. They've done the double over City, Chelsea multiple times, Arsenal, Liverpool last 2 seasons. No shame given Thursday, says AB. The only people should be blamed are the owners, says Xander. Yeah. I agree. Tyler Fredrickson, I'm going to give him a 6. I tell you what, I'm just going to say this once, right? These young players should not be burnt because of everything else. They're kids playing away from home against proper Premier League sides. You sitting there going, they're shit, they're this, that and the other. You're meant to big them up. Our football club is built on the foundations of youth development from as far back as the Busby Babes and before. You as a fan have a responsibility to protect young players that are not the finished article being thrown into the Lion's Den. So if you want to sit there going, they're shit, this, that and the other, shame on you. Maybe they didn't have a brilliant game, but the context has to be there that they're being thrown in at 18 against top sides. And we're just going to throw them on the scrap heap straight away. So I'd give a 6. Delit, 6 before he went off. Luke Shaw, 5. Terrible. Waste of time. Dorgu, probably a 5.5 today. My man of the match, Agate, I give him a 7. Mainu, probably a 5, to be honest. I think the minutes are good. I want to talk about Mainu at the 8 o'clock show. It'll be at least a 15-minute chat. So I want to talk about Mainu. Like, seriously, where's he going to fit in this team? I just think he's had such a strange season. And the 90 minutes will be really good for him, but he's just not grabbing hold of games the way I would have expected. I don't know whether there's an underlying injury, but he played 90 minutes. But he just seems to be really struggling at the moment. I don't know whether it's the contract talks or whatever. But, yeah, there's just something not right with Mainu at the moment. But I think the 90 minutes were positive. Amas, I think he grew into the game and got better. I give him a 6. Mount, he got a goal. I give him a 6. Garnacho's got to be a man of the match contender. I'd give him probably a 6.5. Why is it so low, Mark? Because ultimately, I thought the assist was really good. I thought the goal was really good. I think the goal's going to encourage him to shoot even more. And I think in the second half, he was back to being selfish again. I mean, there was just nothing going on. And he was taking people on all the time. I just think when the game gets desperate, the discipline disappears. And that's what you're going to get with a kid. In the first half, that cross was amazing. He looked up, he put the cross in, it's brilliant. In the second half, we're losing the game. And it's almost like the switch goes and they start thinking, I've got to do something amazing because we're losing the game. So, yeah, 6.5 for me. Obi, 6. Lindelof did all right, 6. Maguire, 6. Yoro 6, Ahmad 6.5, good goal and just good to see him back, and he makes things happen. And Ericsson probably a 6 as well. Amarim, I don't even know what you give Amarim because it's a loss, but he did send the message out before the game. I think if he'd started Bruno, I might have been a little bit more cynical and gone, I expect a little bit more. But when you put a team out like that, look, maybe some people didn't get the message. I think a lot of people did. When you pick a team like that, a 17-year-old up front, a bunch of teenagers in the team, your captain on the bench and doesn't even play 1 minute, he may as well have walked out with a white flag and said, look, we're going to try and win, but we're not actually going to risk anything to win this game. So I got the brief. Like, it basically was, we're probably going to get beat. So to only lose by 1 goal in the end, there was no leadership on that pitch without Bruno. So I sort of would say the De Ligt injury brings, I'd probably say a 6. I think, and we're not far off. Fair play then. Most people did get the brief. Like, I think we got the brief then, didn't we? The brief was, I'm not going to risk anything important in this game. And the De Ligt injury is a pisser, but De Ligt did need to play. Like, De Ligt needed the minutes, like Ahmad needed the minutes. It's just annoying. But I think I got the brief. I understood, like, we were going to try and win the game, severely impacted, because we were going to rest a load of players that were important. So I got the brief, and therefore I expected us to probably lose. If we'd lost 4-1, it would have been a little bit more of a pounding. But 4-3, no captain, lots of people rested, played a load of kids, like a pre-season game. Bring on Thursday. This will be forgotten very, very quickly if we win, if we go through on Thursday. End of the day. Man of the match for you was Ugarte, 50%. So why didn't Garnacho get man of the match? Would be the question. Look, for me, I would like to have given Garnacho a 7, the same as Ugarte, but I just marked him down a little bit because there were periods in the game again where I felt he was a little bit selfish. It was better. And I also think, collectively, it was shocking how little they included Obi in the game. And there were opportunities. I saw Obi again. I said this mad. I said this on, I think it was on yesterday's stream. I said, I've seen Obi play for United now 3-4 times. And every time I've watched him, he's made 2 or 3 good runs that get ignored. And the same thing happened today. He made 2 or 3 really good runs and they got ignored. And that's got to stop. But they ignore it with Rasmus. They ignored it with Martial. They ignore it with Rashford. They ignore it with Cavani. It's been going on for years. It needs to bloody stop. The praise Garnacho got for that cross was unbelievable. I think Garnacho got more praise for the cross than he did the goal. What message does that send to you? I'm back at 8 o'clock. Get yourself over to the fan forum. The man of the match is Ugarte. You've been absolute legends today. As I said, I hate these Premier League games. It genuinely starts people arguing with each other. And I think that's just such a shame because hopefully we'll go through on Thursday and we'll all be back happy collectively again, which is when I'm happy. So I don't like it when we're arguing about stuff. I really don't. Nick Anderson says, I'm sorry, but Shaw is a waste of space. He can only last 45 minutes when he plays. Yeah, I mean, I think that was disgusting. The issue is that the Premier League is so competitive, you can't have a team working in progress. Is the De Ligt, that was from Based, is the De Ligt injury serious? We'll be back for Thursday. I think it looks like he'll be out for the season. People who demand high standards are the same fans who are content with piecemeal changes. Sacking another manager is continuation of Glazer's strategy. Look, The Amrim out crew are just as bad as the Arteta out crew. Arsenal will probably lose and go out of the Champions League and finish second. They're going to buy big players in the summer and go for it next year. There are people in the Arsenal fan base who would sack Arteta now. That would mean having to change their transfer plans. That would mean having to find a manager out of thin air, start again. But there are people out there that think that's a good idea. They genuinely would do it. Self-destruct because they want to be proved right. I understand it. There are people like that. Right, I'm going over to That's Football. You can get yourself over to the fan forum. I will see you on either or, but I'm back 8 o'clock here tonight anyway. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Speak to you in a bit. Okay, why is that not working then? There we go.